It's not Al anymore. It's Dunk.
Dunkachino?
Welcome to Watch Mojo's Secondhand Cringe. And today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 movies that were so bad, people demanded refunds. Number 10, Cats. For years, musical theater fans were waiting on bated breath for Cats, the feature movie. And then it came, and it was a shambles. Even with a star-studded cast, the feline film was heavily hindered by its uncomfortable CGI. The cockroach scene in particular was very disturbing. Cinema employees have stated that people left Cats within 30 minutes to get a refund or switch to another movie. Even the news about an elusive and upsetting Tushy cut didn't garner much interest from the audience. On a budget of up to $100 million, Cats recouped just $75.5 million at the box office. Number 9, Flatliners. On top of the original 1990 edition of Flatliners being filled with a grand cast of Julia Roberts, Kiefer Sutherland, and Kevin Bacon, it was even nominated for an Oscar. Yet in 2017, with the remake featuring Elliot Page, people were suspicious when there wasn't a critic's screening before general release. Considering the 2017 edition was created to be a psychological horror flick, people found unintentional humor in some scenes, and not in a fun, The Room sort of way. There were even calls for refunds of the DVD. Number 8, Mortal Kombat Annihilation. After the mammoth box office success of the 1995 Mortal Kombat film that had an earworming opening song, the sequel Mortal Kombat Annihilation was released in 1997. Alongside several actors being replaced, director Paul W.S. Anderson was too, as John R. Leonetti made his directorial debut. The video game film was filled with pointless fights, making it difficult to get invested. Many viewers warned others about wasting their money on this experience.
I can't take too much more of this.
In 2012, franchise co-creator Ed Boon called Mortal Kombat Annihilation his worst mistake. Number 7, Slender Man. With how popular the cult following for the creepypasta of Slender Man was, you'd expect a live-action film to be a success. But no, that didn't happen when one was released in 2018. Instead, the creators seemingly forgot the main rule of a horror movie, making it scary. Audience members who'd waited a year to enjoy Slender Man posted their displeasure at the dull story and cringy moments on social media, calling for a refund of their wasted time. Many of the issues stem from the filmmakers being forced to cut specific scenes from the final cut over backlash fears. Number 6, Independence Day Resurgence. We're in an age of Hollywood where remakes and sequels are commonplace, resulting in calls that the industry is bankrupt in original ideas. Well, in 2016, we got Independence Day Resurgence. Even without Will Smith, those affected by nostalgia hoped the sequel would be as fun. But as they sat in the cinema, they soon regretted it. One criticism included the explosive fights that made it difficult to tell who was on which side as the CGI blended the two. Another was how stupid the story was, causing people to leave the theater and request refunds. Number 5, Son of the Mask. 1994's The Mask was a cult classic that spawned an animated series and a video game for the comic book franchise. While the 2005 sequel, Son of the Mask, was a colossal failure that picked up several nominations at the Golden Raspberry Awards. Even with a stellar cast featuring Bob Hoskins, Alan Cumming, and Cal Penn, the sequel couldn't hide the loss of star Jim Carrey with Jamie Kennedy. The loss of Carrey's high-octane and entertaining performance was too great. Even critics, like Richard Roper, considered walking out of the cinema, while others wished they'd got a refund. Number 4, Jaws the Revenge. 1975's Jaws is considered one of the best films of all time and the flick that ushered in the era of Hollywood blockbusters. While 1987's Jaws the Revenge was also a trendsetter, in that it ended the franchise with a whimper. One of the most devastating reviews of the flick came from the Orlando Sentinel, that stated a better name would be Jaws the Refund. One of the most confusing moments was the ending when the shark was stabbed and randomly exploded. It was a bizarre movie that not even Michael Caine's involvement could save. Number 3, The Devil Inside. Since 1999's The Blair Witch Project, the film industry has loved firing out frightening found footage flicks, especially after the success of the Paranormal Activity franchise. And by 2012, the exorcism movie The Devil Inside was meant to feed fans of the genre. On top of being messy and obviously cheaply made, it was missing terrifying moments. But the worst was the ending that directed viewers toward a website to find out what happened to the characters, causing audiences to boo and demand refunds. Unforgivable. Number 2. The Last Airbender. On paper, a live-action film of a beloved animated series, Avatar: The Last Airbender, made by a successful and established director and writer M. Night Shyamalan, sounds like a recipe for success. Instead, 2010's The Last Airbender was one of the biggest letdowns in cinema. Fans who were interviewed leaving a screening for the film, often in cosplay, looked like they'd gone through a traumatic event as their dreams were crushed before their eyes, even demanding their money back.
I want my money back. Wow. And I actually wish I had my hair back too.
Number 1. Jack and Jill. Adam Sandler has made some much-loved films. See Happy Gilmore, for example. But none have failed more than 2011's Jack and Jill, an actor playing the two main roles who are twins, one of whose the opposite gender rarely works out. But to somehow make it worse, Sandler handing in a soulless performance was the terrible icing on the cake. There was one positive, Al Pacino's involvement, but that didn't stop people from walking out within 20 minutes. Others asked for a refund, even though they saw the movie for free.
He's kidding.
What? Oh!